CLOUT of Olori.
Hello and welcome to your anticipated program, It's the CLOUT of Olori, where we bring to you heroines who have over the years been known as agents of positive change politically, economically, socially, leading actively at the forefront of leadership. And today, I will be conversing with a courageous mother, wife of integrity, a philanthropist, and a devout lawyer who maintains balance with work, community service, and family. I am Oyindamola Additional, and with me on the program is the Kwara State Coordinator of the National Human Rights Commission, Mrs. Jumoke Olawi. It's good to have you on the program, huh?
Thank you. Good afternoon.
So, let's get to it. How was growing up like?
My growing up was very interesting. I was born and bred in Ilorin, Kwara State. My secondary school, I had my secondary school in Queen Elizabeth School, and during that period, there was this close family mix. I was in the midst of my aunties, in the midst of my uncles. Growing up was fantastic because my mother was a banker then, and she was always busy. But my uncles and my aunties made my growing up very, very interesting. And not to forget, my grandmother was also there for me at that time.
Okay, you said growing up was interesting. Can you shed more light on that interesting part?
Yes. You know, as teenagers, as a teenager, when I was growing up, I told you I attended Queen Elizabeth School, and we were living in Adewale then. My mom is still in Adewale presently. And so from Adewale, they will give us transport money to take taxi. But from there, I would rather trek to school, knocking at my friends' doors. They would have been waiting for me. Bumi Omalekula was one, Fumi Obafemi was one. So we're always walking to school in groups, and then coming back was like that, and then using our transport money to buy oranges, granules and all that. And besides that, when I get home, because I had so many uncles and aunties living in my house that I wasn't doing anything. Before I get home, food would have been ready. In fact, I could say till I got to Form 4 then, because then we were the last batch of Form 5. So by Form 4, they were still washing my clothes. And growing up was interesting. I don't really know how to explain it, but I really enjoyed my growing up. And I'm really praying, and at that time, one thing I want you to know is that I was never abused. I was never molested. None of my uncle touched my bum bum. Neither any one of them touched my breast compared to what is happening in the present day time. Well, I would sleep in the midst of my uncles, and I will wake up the same way. In fact, most of the time they will be the one to say, "Why are you not covering up? Why are you not doing this?" It was really good at that time compared to what we have now.
So tell us, how did you meet your husband?
I met my husband in Lagos through a friend. I used to have a friend and a cousin who was living in Lagos then. Her name is Jumoke Ajayi. Well, okay, yes, her name was Jumoke Ajayi, but she's now Jumoke Adewale. So we used to go to Lagos then in the Yanopaja, and then she had a boyfriend. Then, so my husband used to follow that her former boyfriend, because eventually she didn't get married to that particular guy. But my husband used to follow. They used to come together as friends, and that was when he saw me, and he took interest in me. He told Jumoke that he wanted to date me, and Jumoke was like, date this person, and so. In fact, it was Jumoke Ajayi that convinced me to date my husband, and that is why, and to the glory of God, I'm in his house.
Obviously, you have a busy schedule. How do you manage work and family together?
That would be God. It is the glory of God. It is God that strengthens me and upholds me. Aside from God, I would also give kudos to my husband, because when you have a career and you don't have a supporting husband, there's no how you can make it in life. He has always been supportive. My mom has always been there, even when I was deployed back to headquarters for like 7 years, and we're living together. He was like, okay, go and excel, and to God be the glory. I'm back in Olori, although he's not in Olori again, he's still in Lagos, but at least this is the family house. I'm back with my children, and then my mom has always been there for me anytime, taking care of the children and making sure that the family is okay. So basically, God, my husband, and my mom.
So tell us about Mr. and Mrs. Olori's children.
Yes, I have 2 children. Let me say, yes, I have 2 biological children, and I have 1 adopted. 2 are in the university, and 1 is in SS3.
So, looking back, what was your motivating factor?
Yes, I like people that can keep to their words. Integrity. I like people who are hardworking. I don't like lazy people. I don't like you telling me lies. No matter what the situation may be, just let me know the truth. I like people who are innovative, who are also enterprising. I don't just like people that are lazy too, particularly women that are lazy. I don't like it. I always encourage our women to do something, no matter how small, even if it means selling pure water. But you telling me you're an housewife, you want to work, I don't like it, because it takes 2 to tango.
Okay. I want to believe that some people at the National Human Rights Commission's office, if you ask them about their experience in childhood, some would say they were abused and some other things, or they saw someone that was abused and could not talk. But you, with the story you told us, you said you didn't experience any of that. So how come you become the practice coordinator of National Human Rights Commission when you never experienced such?
Yes. The National Human Rights Commission is a commission that deals with the protection, the promotion, and the enforcement of human rights of the Nigerian citizens and those living in Nigeria. And then the moment you are employed, you go through rigorous training about human rights. Forget about the fact that I'm a lawyer, that I can read about it and make it applicable. We have been trained psychologically, physically to just make sure that the rights of the citizens are protected. And not only the citizens, but those even living in Nigeria. So I will give kudos to National Human Rights Commission for training me. As of last year, we were still trained several times, even if it means through version. We were trained, and we keep getting the training all the time. This year, I've had 1 or 2 trainings concerning human rights, concerning how to manage people, concerning, violations of human rights in general. Yes, it's just the training I got from human rights that has been helpful.
Okay, concerning COVID-19 pandemic spreading the world now, how do you manage going to work, meeting lots of people, and coming back home to stay protected with the children?
There's no how. Yes, COVID-19 is ravaging the whole world. And the Human Rights Commission is not an exception. Whether we like it or not, I have to leave the office because I'm at the end of affair in Kwara State. But one thing, just like we have been mandated by the Executive Secretary and the Management of National Human Rights Commission to comply with COVID-19 protocols, that is, hand sanitizing of the hands, washing of the hands, and then using the face mask. It's just because of the distance between you and me, and that's why I'm not wearing my face mask. And then this is what we have been preaching to everyone. Yes, because I know I have children in the house that can easily contract COVID-19. I'm always very conscious of the fact that COVID-19 is not written on anybody's forehead. I have to do social distancing when they come to complain. I have to wash my hands. And then even when you get to my office now, at the gate, it is written boldly, no entry if you are not with your mask. You have to wear your mask before you are able to enter. Not even only Human Rights Commission, but the building as a whole. So when you are coming, you have to mask, you have to see that you are ready to comply. And when we are taking complaints, we give gas you know, the person taking complaints will be mask, and then the complainant too, you have to wear your mask, and then you talk from at least far distance before we are able to take your complaint and act appropriately.
So what's your advice to young girls?
Young girls and even women, and you see, there's one thing that is really pathetic in Kwara State, and that is the molestation, the violation of women's rights in Kwara State and our girl child. Fine, we have a Child Rights Act that covers them, but how many people are aware that we have a law that is protecting, that is, that has been passed into law to protect children in Kwara State? You see, so many of our women are not, capable of taking care of themselves, and then this makes them to be more vulnerable to abuse. You will see a complaint of a woman who will come to the commission and say, my husband said because I did this, I'm not going to clothe you, I'm not going to feed you. And some will even drive them out without taking care of the children. And I always tell them, why don't you work? Some will tell me it's because my husband has said, if I want to work, he's going to drive me out of the house. Or some just willingly, they are not just ready to work. I want to advise our women that it's always good to work. And then, yes, another one, Kwara State Polytechnic student, I'm sorry to mention the names, despite the fact that they are educated, you will see so many of them coming to the commission with all manners of complaints. HMD2 students being impregnated by bus seller, being impregnated by taxi driver. I cannot, phantom. I always ask them, you are a graduate already, about to be graduating. And then you could just stoop so low by dating just somebody who could give you 20 naira, 10 naira, or just 1,000 for transport. And then you are not even ready to protect yourself. Despite the fact that NOA is been going, sensitizing people about how to take care of yourself. So I just want to appeal to our girls. I want to appeal to our women that we really need a lot. We really need to do a lot of work. Peer pressure is there for the teenagers because so many of them are pregnant. They come to the commission because the person that has impregnated them is not ready to take over or is not ready to accept the pregnancy. Teenagers, and you see police students come in the same way. You see our mothers, our women, because the law classifies us as being vulnerable. And indeed, we are vulnerable. But I pray by the grace of God, when the VAP bill is being decided, at least Kwara State will be a better place for it. Because there will be law to back it up, there will be law to support us as women so that we can try.
How many years have you been the state coordinator? And since you've been the coordinator, have you personally found a way in sensitizing people?
That's my job. That's my number one job, to sensitize people. I said it to collaborate. I do mediation. National Human Rights Commission, what we really do, even when you say your rights has been violated, if we think that this is a matter that needs to go to court, we have a department, a legal department that was formerly in when I was at the headquarters, that would give you a lawyer, pro bono. They won't take any money from you. Or even when we know that you need a lawyer and then we don't really want to refer your case to the headquarters, we collaborate with FIDA, and then FIDA will take up your case, or any other. It could be the police, it could be Legal Aid Council, and it could even be NSCDC, And then when there are difficult cases like that, I have other colleagues working under me. When a complaint is brought to the commission, I mean it to particular officers, because we have 3 departments. We have the Department for Economic and Social Cultural Rights, we have the one for women and the vulnerable groups, and we have a department for civil and political rights. If you understand, those ones are classified under Chapter 4 of the Constitution and then the Chapter 2 of the Constitution. So when your matter falls within economic, I refer to the economic and social, to handle. But when there are difficult cases, most of the time I want to be abreast with the cases that are brought to the commission, because we file reports back to the headquarters at the end of every month. So headquarters can just call me and ask, Jumoke, what is going on? Even not within the office hour, what is going on within this with this matter. I should be able to tell them. So I'm always abreast with all the cases, even if I'm not going to be there when they are mediating. But most of the time, when they are mediating, bringing the parties together and then trying to find solution to what their problem is, I'm always there.
Okay, so how many years have you been employed as the choir coordinator?
2 years. By February 1st. That was just last week.
Okay.
Just 2 years.
What should people do in the event of violation?
I appeal to people, particularly the vulnerable groups, women, children, and people living with disability, to speak up when they are violated. You don't even have to wait for your right to be violated before you report to the commission. When your right is about to be violated, or was violated, or is about to be violated, please run to the commission. There is no time frame for human rights abuse. You cannot say, it happened about 10 years ago. If you have your evidence to back it up, and you know somebody has cheated you, please come to the commission. Just even a call. And we have what is called the principle of confidentiality. If you don't want your name to be mentioned by the commission, that you are reporting your neighbor, maybe your neighbor's husband has been beating her. I just got a report yesterday and 2 days ago of a man who almost killed his wife. That was around 9 in the evening. You know, and we have to just call the DPOs around that area. If the DPO, this one even happened in Kulende, you know, and then we have to just contact the appropriate authority to, you know, to arrest the alleged violator. So please, our women should speak up. I want to say something, and I always say it anywhere I go, that the pepper seller, even in the markets now, they know their rights. They come to the commission. But we, the educated ones, we are always forming, you know, we are always forming that nothing is happening. Meanwhile, most of them are going through depression. We have a situation, we collaborate with UITH. If we know that you need the psychosocial therapy, we refer you to UITH. If you have worked for someone and the person is not ready to pay, please come and report. If your salary is being delayed, or if you are victimized, if you are going through any form of intimidation, you are a human being. And as a human being, God has created us in such a way that there are some certain rights that nobody can take away from us, whether we like it or not. Except you run foul to law, you have done something against the law, particularly the right to life. You can't be a housewife and your husband wants to kill you because you don't have work, and then you want to remain in that type of marriage. No man is entitled, no man has the right to hit a woman. No woman has the right to hit a man. And for the fact that you have given birth to your children, the law frowns at it. Yes, the law recognizes the fact that we have laws, we have customs that are, you know, that are also guiding us. We have this issue of morality. You can't just beat your child and we see marks all over your child. When the child is being brought to the commission, you will be dealt with. So the era of maltreating a child is gone. Yes, you can train a child in the way of the Lord, but there are limitations to it. You can't say because this child has offended you, I'm not going to give this child food from morning till night. If human rights, if you are called upon, forget about the fact that you gave birth to that child, because that child is a human being, because that child has her own right, or his right, he has his own duties and the responsibility. So nobody under the law should take those rights away from.
How do we get to contact the commission?
Our office is along Zango Road, number 3 Old Jeba Road, and very close to Okin Filling Station, and opposite Ayoka Filling Station. Beside Okin Filling Station, opposite Ayoka Filling Station. It's a 2-story building.
Thank you very much. I hope our viewers enjoyed the moment with Barrister Mrs. Jumoke Olaoye.
I want to seize this opportunity to say a very big thank you to my friends who have been supportive when I was deployed, when I was transferred to Abuja. They were with me. Even despite the fact that I was ill, they took care of me. I would say a very big thank you to Awa Ibrahim Kuchi. I love you. You have been a big sister. You have been there for me. Bukola Ibeon, you are good to me. I say a very big thank you too. Kolawole Ajayi, Ogubiyi, the Ogubiyi's family. And I want to specifically thank my sister here in Ilorin, Okikiola Olawumi. I appreciate you all. I thank my sister, Lara, Ofoworola. You have been there. I love you all. And to my children, I love you all.
Who is a better, stronger, and strong woman? Join us for the next episode, and do not forget to leave a like, smash subscribe, and ring the notification bell. I remain Oyindamola Adesina. See you soon. It's the Clout of Olori. Who keep their heels, heads, and standards high. Watch the heroine on our Facebook page at the Clout of Olori. It's the Clout of Olori.